And so to the second heat of the Class B cars for Formula GTI. There's the man in pole position, the winner of the first heat, Alan Eve in car number 54. Coming up to take his position on the front row of the grid is Nigel Townsend in car number 81. And look how he's moved to the right up to the start line, in fact, across his grid position. And Alan Eve looks across at him with some kind of agitation, saying, hey, you shouldn't be that far ahead. In fact, if you look at the back wheels of Townsend's car, you can see the grid position where his front wheels should be. So the officials have done nothing about that, and some sort of penalty perhaps should be imposed on this one. But the 5-second board is up now. The red light will come on any second, in green, and away they go. And that will be now as Alan Eve gets a good start. But Townsend gets a better start, of course, but he had that fudging maneuver, and one wonders if later on perhaps the officials will penalise him. But it's Alan Eve down into total corner for the first time. This is a powerhouse race, this. A lot of cars on the track around that very, very tight left-hander, and it's Alan Eve fighting off the challenge of Nigel Townsend. Malcolm Cochrane was there in third position. Craig Peterson started from the back of the grid, having not finished the first heat. And it'll be interesting to see how he weaves his way through the field, because Craig Peterson is one favoured to win this race, or certainly racing at Zwartkops, and favoured also to be well up in the championships at the end of the season. But look how Townsend is really putting the pressure on Alan Eve now, right up into the drive-in section of the track, down towards Sabat, and up towards the start and finish line. Alan Eve driving exceptionally well, and that's why he's leading the championships now. This is the third round of the championships. Cars streaming their way out of Sabat, battling for position all the way down the field. And there is Craig Peterson. You can see him carving his way through the field in car number 75. And the clouds building up in the background. Quite a bit of rain around, certainly over Johannesburg. It's raining at this particular time, and one wonders if it's going to rain before the end of this race. As that's car number 88 is Yanni Smith, also carving his way through the field.
And these, the older cars racing in Class B, the cars were built prior to 1990, and there's Ashleys in there, and there's Rays and Matadors, and what a show they're putting on. It's great racing, some great names in there as well. There's Louis Parson from Rally, there's Alan Trow, he's been in motocross as well. There's Harvey Host, that's a name that we've heard plenty of in the past. There's Malcolm Cochrane from motocross, and it's all action. And 79 is Harvey Host, the man we were talking about, going off the track there, and he gets left behind, and that, to all intents and purposes, is his race run. We remember him in Formula V, a very prominent driver in South African motorsport. And here's Townsend now. He's challenging Eve as they go through that very tricky total curve, heavy on the brakes. They just clip the curb there, and he's putting the pressure on. He doesn't want to get his wing tucked into his gearbox. Lots of acceleration, 4-speed gearbox. They've got Hewland gearboxes at the back of the car, and of course the man behind can actually read the name of the maker on that gearbox. That's how close he's doing it, and he's challenging a brave man going on the inside onto the brake marks there, or brake marks that just touch them, but not good enough. Eve is wary about what Townsend can do. He won the first race, and he's not going to make it too easy to let him through. He can drive a very wide motor car, can Alan Eve. He's been at this for a few years, a lot of experience under there. Through the banking at Sabat, hauling up along the Michelin straight there. And here's the tricky one now. Now you've got to line it up exactly right as Townsend goes through the inside. He's got him. Has he got him as they go for the brakes there? Conti, he's got him, and Townsend's gone to the front, but Eve's making a comeback. Couldn't quite do it as Townsend closed the door on him. He went to the outside and off onto the rough there, and Townsend's into the front. Alan Eve is in second position. And this will be the first time, if it does happen, that Eve has been beaten this year, and Townsend's doing it at the moment quite convincingly as he flies down through the citizen sweep. It's a downhill left-hander. Then the camber goes away as we come towards the end of the race. They're getting into the back markers. Can always change. He says, go to the right-hand side. Please go to the right-hand side. I don't want to be in your way. Accelerate down it flat out through Sabat. Here's some of the others. And coming up through the fleet, Craig Peters is there. There's Max Corter and Duplessis and Frankel having a very good drive. We've heard of him before. And also Jardim as well. And they are flying along, these drivers. Everywhere you look around the circuit, there's just racing going on. And here is Peterson now. He's come from the back of the grid. He's an all-action driver. He's Peterson. He had that problem in the first race. It's a great pity he didn't finish it.
And there's a big coming together. That's Ron Van Wheelie, number 56, and Matty Walker in 64. Both drivers safely out of their car. Fortunately, not on the racing line. Walking safely back to the pits. Very, very frustrated after battling it out throughout the race. And here's the leader, Nigel Townsend, coming past Jovanka. A lap behind. He's on his last lap now, coming out of Bosel down towards Sabat. He's driven an immaculate race despite that strange start of his. And he gets the checkered flag. Number 81, second will be Alan Eve.
So it's the first time that Alan Eve has been beaten this year. Nigel Townsend winning that one ahead of Eve. Craig Peters, a great third there. Max Corter was fourth. Rolf du Plessis and Mike Frankel coming home in sixth position. A very happy Townsend there. So the overall positions for the day, Townsend takes it for the day. Alan Eve is romping away with the championship, 30 points clear of the next man. Corter, nice third for him, ahead of Frankel. Jovanka, nice to see her there too, and Jardine in sixth position. So it's certainly been very exciting racing in the Class B with those GTRs, with those 21 cars hard at it. And here's the next 15 lapper, that's 30 kilometres of Zwartkops for the Class A cars. And on pole position, Claudio Piazzamusso, alongside him Duncan Foss, Piazzamusso in a Ray, Foss in a Swift, then comes Pepper, De Santos, Mark de Nobrega for Cape Town, and Dion Reed. Bit of a jump start there from Foss as away they go from the line. And Mark de Nobrega goes across Foss's wheels, he goes into Marco de Santos and spins it across the road. That looks like a very, very heavy one. He was suffering from a broken collarbone he got in rugby 2 weeks ago.
Rog, great to see how quickly the marshals react to that accident, and the ambulance car from the back was there in a flash. Look how quickly they turn that car over to see how the driver is. And he's there upright, he's moving, it looks like he's okay.
And the chaos that's left on the circuit, Mark de Nobrega's car is without the nose cone as they attend to Marco de Santos. George Ekman was the other man who went into the wall. Not a happy day for him as he went into the tyres at Conti earlier. Here's the start again in slow motion. De Nobrega goes into Duncan Foss' wheel, runs into De Santos, turns him over as Mark de Nobrega goes into the wall. Jörg Ekman, watch his arm underneath that motor car, putting his hand out above the roll cage to try and save himself. That's a really big mistake onto that hurt shoulder that he's got, as I say, from the broken collarbone. But the roll cage has saved him as he slides off the road there, and that is really a big one. He must be feeling very, very sore. And that's every driver's nightmare, to be trapped under a motor car after pranging in such a heavy manner. It comes at you so suddenly just after the start of a race. And the red flag comes out to stop the race, and so we're going to have a restart in that one. I must say the response units are always on the ball. Our paramedics, now that we're back in Grand Prix racing, always on the ball and well rehearsed to handle any emergency like this.
You know, Roger, this is never a nice scene to see an accident like this, and fortunately he doesn't look too seriously hurt. He's got a neck brace on, of course. That's to strengthen his neck and his back against any further injury that might be incurred as a result of moving him out of the car. But they get him safely into the ambulance. He's got a drip on because he's suffering extreme shock after that event, and so I would be, as anybody would be. That must be a really nerve-wracking situation, that. But he's into the ambulance now, and the debris being cleared from the track, and we'll be ready to get this race underway. So, still in pole position at the restart, it's Piazzamusso. The missing gap on the second row of the grid, and Duncan Foss gets away very, very well there. Piazzamusso into second position, but Duncan Foss gets into that first corner, the right-hander that is total. And Piazzamusso, look, we've got a very bad start there. He's down in third position at the moment. And it's Ian Pepper who's got himself up into second, but it's Duncan Foss who streaks away, pulls strongly out of Conti corner, already opened up that gap of about 3 or 4 car lengths between himself and Pepper, and Piazzamusso fighting valiantly to come back with Andrew Freinhoek in that multicolored car starting to weave his way through the field after not a particularly good start from him. Duncan Foss looking a little bit shaky on the corner, and Piazzamusso diving through on the inside there, coming out of the Citizen corner and up the Motorsport hill. He very nearly lost his second position once again, but he held on grimly as they go into Sabat and out again to complete the first lap. So these cars are visibly faster than the Class B cars. There you can see Duncan Foss still leading in car number 7. Piazzamusso still in second position now, Ian Pepper in third. Rog, what is the speed differential between the Class B and Class A cars? Must be several kilometers an hour on this track.
I would say 10, 12 kilometers an hour. And also the handling is the big thing that that makes the difference in these motor cars. And of course we've got the later motor cars, later suspensions, and they're finding more and more horsepower out of these GTI engines, which have served motor racing so well. And of course the talent tends to gravitate, not all of it, but it tends to gravitate towards the Class A class. You see Pepper now going to the inside of Piazza Musso. He's battling with that car. Compared to the first race, Piazza Musso is not in the lead. It's Pepper gone through to second place now. That's another motocrosser, and that teaches you to look after yourself in close company, does motocross when you're on a very bumpy ground, and they're putting it to great effect, that sort of experience, to be able to handle themselves in traffic and get past safely. So Pepper's gone to second spot now. Piazza Musso's in third. It's Duncan Foss in the front. Andrew Freyenhoek is a little further behind. He's gone to fourth position. Another motocrosser, Dion Roux, who's come up through the ranks to Formula V's. And the B class has now gone into A class. Bad accidents always tend to unnerve these drivers. Always very grateful it hasn't happened to them, although you always think it's never going to happen to me. It always happens to the other back. And you can see just how hard Foss is trying. And it's Pepper. Nicely turned out motor car. And the circuit is getting slippery as they start to get into the back markers now. But it's Duncan Foss who's going to take this race ahead of Ian Pepper and Claudio Piazza Musso. Claudio third in that second race, but still ahead in the championship.
Yes, we won the first race, got pole. The second race we battled a bit with the handling. We changed it between the heats. We went the wrong way. We started getting oversteer, and I thought about the championship, so I'd rather come third, save the race, than try and do something crazy and throw the championship away.
You nearly made a mistake at the start of the race though.
Yes, those clutches are very, when you leave go the clutch, it snaps on and it's either in or out. It's not like a road car where they're very progressive, and just a millimetre back with the clutch, I almost pulled off there. I braked again, and then obviously I started, and that's why I started off third.
That starting line accident, it didn't worry you or unnerve you at all?
No, I was lucky. I pulled off very well in the first start, and I saw in the mirrors everything was happening. The thing is, if anything, it was better because we had less rivals behind us.
And he's certainly dead serious about the championship. Overall winner for the day is now got 46 points to the 30 points of Duncan Foss. So nice to see Ian Pepper, a motocrosser, in third position. Dion Roux won as well. Glenn Gibbons, the rallyist, in fifth.